What up?
Hey, Leon. Over to your right, sir. First off, welcome back. Looking back at what had happened last time we saw you in the cage, you've been through the sort of the unpacking process, if you like, of sort of processing that defeat and the somewhat bizarre circumstances in which the fight played out. Now that's all now in the rear-view mirror. How are you feeling now going into this one compared to the last one?
Feeling good. You know, it's been had a good little layoff after the fight. Obviously the fight didn't go to plan, to what we had planned, and there was unforeseen circumstances that caused that. But like I said, it is what it is now. I'm moving forward. I'm excited to go out there, perform again. I feel like I'm going in there to put my wrongs right. I feel like I owe it to the UK fans, I owe it to myself, and yeah, I'm excited for it.
It's kind of an interesting sort of shake-up that happened in the welterweight division with Shavkat not being able to fight Belal for the belt and Jack getting the shot.
Yeah.
How was that a source of any kind of frustration for you, or was there the knowledge that basically you knew you needed to be on this card?
I feel like I needed to be on this card, right? I think I spoke to the UFC because also I'd love to fight Bilal in May for the rematch, but it would have been weird to take me off based on my hometown. The fuck?
Attention, please. This is a test of the emergency automatic.
The fuck?
Please take no action.
I was about to run down. What was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying.
I don't know. I'll move to the next question. You've got Sean Brady now. Obviously, he came in relatively short notice. It's a change of opponent style, but it's not an unfamiliar style to the past opponent. So, how helpful, in a word, in a way, has that been that it isn't a complete departure from what you've prepped for before?
It's good. Like I said, it's a style that I've been preparing for the last 5 fights. You know what I mean? So it was easy to get all my ducks in line to finish off training camp. Basically, I think that 4 or 5 weeks.
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention?
Okay, we're back.
Should we start again? Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, Leon.
Yeah.
Nice smooth fight week so far. Everything going okay for you?
Just a fucking career. This. No, it's all good. It's all fun.
Going back to what we were saying about short notice changeover an opponent with Sean Brady, familiar style, all the rest of it. But what does he bring that you think is slightly different to the likes of Colby, to the likes of Kamaru, in terms of the way he approaches his wrestling and the way that he works when the fight is on the mat?
I think it's pretty similar for us, the wrestling takedowns. He probably got more submission threats in it as Usman and Colby's, and the Belal, the more like riding pressure kind of wrestlers. He's more he will go for stuff, you know what I mean, which gives more space to get up basically or to reattack. So if you've seen from the Burns fight, Burns was able to get up every time and reattacks every time, you know what I mean, because he kind of creates scrambles. As the other guys are more like pressure wrestlers, I would say, probably.
And seeing the face-off between the pair of you at the O2, the height difference was pretty
I
pretty
didn't
clear
know,
to see. It was quite surprising.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that small. When I walked up, I thought, like walking towards him, yeah, like his back turned to me, right? I thought, I look for where the fuck Sean. Then turned around, I was like, what the hell? So yeah, I think it's about 5'9", probably 5'8", 5'9". I feel like the size difference, the reach, the strength will play a big part in the fight, you know.
I think you said in a previous interview that you've been told that this is a #1 contender fight. You've been given assurances you've got the title fight if you win this.
For me, yeah, 100%. I feel like I'm still ranked #1 in the division. There's been no movement in the division since I last fought. I'll go out there, get a good performance against Sean, put him away, finish him. I feel like that put me right back in line to where I feel I belong, you know, and yeah, 100%.
Great stuff. Thanks very much.
Leon, over here. Leon, you're quite a big guy for 170. Is there ever been a thought for you to go to 185?
That was my plan. Defend my belt a few times and move up. But I feel like for now, my dreams obviously now is to regain my championship. Then from there, we go from there, you know.
And after your loss against Belal, I can imagine you prefer him to win the fight against GDM. Is that also your preference, or?
I don't care really who wins. I was doing icing on the cake to take it back from Bilal. But if JDM beats him, then it's JDM, right? There's not really, yeah.
Would you accept a number one contender fight against Shavkat again after this fight, or are you like, okay, if I put on a great performance, I just need the title shot?
Yeah, I feel like I put on a good performance, go out there, put away Sean. That put me in place to go straight back in for the title. I feel like when Ian and Shavkat fought, it wasn't like a bomb burner fight, like a sick fight. I think, oh, he needs to fight for the title. You know what I mean? So if he's, no one knows how long he's out for Azar with his injury. You know what I mean? So right now I'm focused on Sean. I feel like I got to get past Sean first Saturday night, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Good luck Saturday.
Thank you.
Leon, down here to your right. For the best part of 2 years, you were the hunted at 170 pounds, and now once again you are the hunter. What's it been like switching your mentality to being the hunted to the hunter?
It was easy, right? I feel like I was always the underdog dog. So I always felt like I was already there mentally. You know what I mean? I feel like for me, it's been a long time since I've lost. It was almost 10 years. You know what I mean? So it took me a while to like let it sit in, let it soak in. They think, oh, you need to regroup and go again. You know what I mean? And I feel like I needed that time away from the sport to make it sink into my soul and regain what I feel like I needed to regain. And yeah, ready to go again. You know, I'm excited to be back and excited to perform.
And has life changed now that you're no longer the champion? Because we've seen in the past when people lose championships, there aren't as many hangers on, or there aren't as many people trying to be around you. Has that changed since?
No, not from what I know, not really. I didn't really have the same team that I had when I was like 16 years old. Dave's still there, Tim's still there, everyone's still there. You know what I mean? My friends are still my same friends from school. This is like I've never really like buy into the celebrity thing anyway. My life didn't change one bit. It changed financially because now I'm fucking check is not, there's no pay-per-view points and shit. But apart from that, it's not really changed. You know.
Is Saturday night kind of like your Roy Jones Jr. type moment where you're going to remind people just how good you are? Obviously, you had an off night in Manchester, but this is now that everything 100%. Is ideal, that this is going to be the time.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like Saturday night is more for me, right? I want to go out there and put my right wrongs, and I know that I'm better than what Manchester was. You know what I mean? And it's more about going out there and just putting it right for me more than anybody else. You know what I mean? And just showing the world like who the fuck I am. You know.
Cheers, man.
Leon, just over here. There's been a lot of back and forth between you and Belal. He said recently on Twitter that you're full of excuses and mentally weak regarding, obviously, your fight together. What's your take on that? What's your response?
The way Belal talks is like he went out there and like fucking knocked me down and dropped me and battered me for the whole round. Like all he did was wrestled me, single-legged me, picked me up, put me against the cage. He did no damage really. I think at the end of the fight, if anything, he was the one on the floor leaking, about to get stopped. You know what I mean? So if I was already broken, you're about to get stopped. One more minute out of that fight, he would have got stopped. You know what I mean? So, the way he talks, he just doesn't. From what he does in the cage, he's two different person. He talks like he's like Mike Tyson, but when he fights, he's not. You know what I mean? So, here's what it is. I feel like, yeah, here's what it is.
And he said that he's picking Sean Brady, obviously, this weekend. But is it personal between you two?
Not really. I just don't like him. You know what I mean? I don't think wouldn't be friends outside the sport. I wouldn't know who he is. You know what I mean? So, no, not really.
And Sean Brady told us today in the media day that it's a bad look, he thinks, for you to be talking so much about Belal in the run-up to this fight.
I'm not talking about Belal. You asked about Belal. I'm not talking about him. You keep asking me about him, but yeah.
Do you think it's hard for you to get away from that subject?
Nah, not really. I feel like, because Sean is not doing much talking for this fight, I feel like Belal was on Twitter chatting shit. So I feel like everyone just keep talking about Belal. But as far as me and my coaches, or I'm not training thinking, what's Belal doing? You know what I mean? I do know he tweeted what you just said. So, yeah.
And do you see Belal retaining the title in Montreal?
I don't know. I feel like JDM obviously is a better striker. He had good anti wrestling as well. So I don't know. If I put money on it, I'd probably go JDM.
Okay.
If I put money on it, yeah.
And then in terms of a fight, then with you and JDM, if that was to be for the title, how do you think that would go down?
I feel like I'll win. He's a good fighter. You know what I mean? I was excited to compete against him. I was hoping for a striker. You know what I mean? I'm for a striker now for the last like 5 years. So we're doing good to come back to London and to entertain the fans in that sense. But like I said, Sean Brady is another tough up and comer that I got to go out there and get rid of. You know.
Leon, you're once again the over here, mate. You're once again the underdog going into this fight. It's a position you've been in a lot in your career, but a position you always tend to thrive in. Do you sort of relish that opportunity to sort of prove people wrong, or do you see it more as like a disrespect?
Nah, it don't really bother me. You know, like I said, I've been underdog in many fights, and I haven't lost before the last fight, and we lost in almost 10 years. So. Nah, like I think all these odds and that means nothing. You know what I mean? I've proven time and time again that I'm one of the best in the division now.
So you don't feel that the UFC or the upper brass, they underestimate you?
No, I don't feel like it matters.
Well, I mean, you spoke a lot about in like leading up to fight week about how you've been assured that the winner of this is going to get a title shot. I don't know if you caught what Sean said earlier, but basically he wasn't a big fan of the fact you were maybe looking past him. You weren't focusing on the challenge at hand, and he basically said he was going to punish you for that. I just wanted to get your response on that.
I feel like I said, I'm focused on Sean for Saturday night, but the long-term goal is to become a two-time world champion. If he ain't got that dream in his head either, then that's him. You know, for me, I always put a main goal first, which is the championship. Then I always work towards it. There's steps in the way there you got to get past. That's just as important as the title, but the title is the main goal, right? You got to chip away fight by fight. You got to win fights. If we go out there and lose to Sean, there's no title shot. You know what I mean? So it's just as important, if not more important, to get me to my main goal, where I feel I belong, which is a world champion. And so yeah, that's my mentality. I'm not looking past him. I'm just saying my main goal is to get back to where I left off. And he's the guy that's in the way. And that's it.
Leon, right over here. Axelon pour Karate Bushido. We know that some champions feel way more light when they lose the title. Do you feel like you have a better preparation since you didn't have the title this time coming into the fight?
Way more liked?
Light in terms of
light.
pressure.
Oh, mentally.
Yeah.
No, not really. I feel like for me, all fights is a title fight. You know what I mean? All fights are important. It gets you to that main goal where you want to be. So my preparation is just as good, if not better. So not really. I feel like being a champion, you want to win just as bad as being a challenger. You know what I mean? I feel like it's all just glitz and glamour, right? The belt, but the actual fight, you put the work in camp. I don't care who it is, whether you're fighting a journeyman or a world champion. You got to put for yourself. You got to put the work in to go into the fight. You know.
Okay. You also said that you were going to jump up of category maybe if you have the opportunity. We hear talks about Islam Makhachev going into your division. Do you think it's kind of disrespectful for him to think that he can beat you guys, or do you think he actually has a chance since you trained with him before?
No, I think everyone's trying to move up. Like I said, I'm trying to go to middleweight. Ilya's trying to go to lightweight. He's trying to go to welterweight. So I feel like that's the game, right? The game is the game, and if he wants to move up, then so be it. You know.
Thank you. Good luck.
Hey, Leon, just a lighter-hearted one here. There's a clip going around online right now of a fan of yours. His name is Robert.
Yeah.
He was at UFC 304, and it was his birthday, and his brother, instead of getting a cameo from you, decided to troll him and get a cameo from Belal instead. So I'm just wondering if you have a birthday message for
Did he kill himself after see that? What's his name, Robert?
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert, you probably delete and throw away your phone if the Bilal thing. And yeah, happy birthday. Hopefully get to meet you one day.
Leon. So Sean has predicted how he sees the outcome of the fight. What's your response to that, first of all? And
What was the prediction?
He said a submission.
Okay.
Second or third round.
I can't see that happening. I've never been in a submission threat in my career, really. I fought better jiu-jitsu guys than him. For me, I'm going out there to put my weight. Like I said, if Belal can stop you with punches, I'm going to hurt you. You know what I mean? And like I said, seeing the size difference, I feel like once it feels my physicality, I feel like I'll stop him, you know. And so let's see.
And how does it, or does it at all, impact your preparations when you hear opponents being so brazen in how they are going to approach the fights?
But that's the only thing you can say. Not to say, I'm going to go out there and knock him out. You know what I mean? He's going to go out there, he's going to wrestle, and he's going to look for a submission. That's the way he fights, right? So whether he said it or not, I probably would have fought that anyway. You know what I mean? Just from watching his tapes, and he fights the same way every single fight. I can't see him changing, and he didn't beat no one really apart from Gilbert Burns in the top 10. You know what I mean? So if you're looking at resumes and what's what, I feel like there's levels to the game, and Saturday night I show him the levels, you know.
Cool. And last one from me. You've talked passionately about Belal today, and also...
I'm not talking about Belal. You fucking keep asking me about Belal. Oh, God.
And the number one contendership, and possibly regaining the title, and these long-term goals. How much of these are motivators, or could they be potentially distractions ahead of the fight on Saturday?
What's the question? Sorry.
All your long-term goals.
Yeah.
How much are they a motivator going into Saturday, or could they potentially? How do you stop them from distracting you from the fight that's ahead?
So this is not about Belal. This is about the belt, not Belal. So you've got some fucking belt.
I meant long-term goals.
Okay. So my goal is the championship. Whether Belal's got it or JDM. Okay. Like I said, my whole career, it's been the same, right? I've always had a goal in my brain to become UFC World Champion. That goal drove me to become UFC World Champion. Now my goal, I lost the belt. Now my goal again is to be 2-time World Champion. So I need that in my brain. So I get up in the morning when I'm running, when I'm envisioning, when I'm dreaming, it's for that, right? So I don't get how a goal can be a distraction. You can't, for me anyway. You know what I mean? I feel like it's motivation, if anything. It helps you to push on, and that's it. I don't get where the confusion is coming.
Cheers, Leon. Thanks.
Leon, back here. Made some rounds on social media last night. A potential staph infection on your arm. Is there any update you can offer on that?
I actually did had it like this is about six weeks ago. Took antibiotics for it. It's gone. I know it affects cardio-wise or nothing. You know what I mean? I was fine. I don't know if it was staph. It was like a bite or something, but yeah, that's 6 weeks ago. Nothing affected, nothing, and I'm good.
And how do you compare the grappling style of Sean Brady? Obviously, he's more of a jiu-jitsu style guy than the likes of Belal. And do you feel like this is a preferred matchup for you? Because, as you said, you can right those wrongs of the Belal fight with a similar style?
Yeah, I feel like it's like I said, it's a style I'm used to. He's also more jiu-jitsu in him. But it's a style I'm used to, a style I'm comfortable with. And it all depends how you look at it, right? I look at it like it's a great fight to prepare me for what's next if Belal win. If not, it's a great style to keep leveling up. You know what I mean? So it's all about like how you see things, right? Is you take it as negative, like, oh, why you keep fighting grapplers? But it's like, if you truly believe you're the best, then you should be able to fight any of these guys, whether it's a grappler, striker, jiu-jitsu, karate, taekwondo. Like, why does it matter what the style is? You're gonna fight them one day anyway, because that's your job, right? That's your goal is to be a champion. So it is, I should imagine. So eventually you're gonna fight these people. So it doesn't matter whether it's today or fight next or 2 fights. Eventually, if he keeps winning, I'll keep winning. We're gonna fight each other. So it's all just, like I said, how you look at it. I don't see it the way you guys see it. And yeah, that's it.
Leon, just one question from me. All being well, and you go and achieve your like 2-time champion dream, the UFC are likely to bring a big pay-per-view show back to the UK. Would you be comfortable doing that 5 a.m., 6 a.m.
No. I would
That even for a massive pay-per-view headliner, that's done now.
No, I wouldn't do it again now. I'm trying to think I'll go back to America, or if you're gonna do like 5 a.m. here, you might as well take it back to the States, And I feel like the UK fans deserve a big, like they did to London. Like London one was good when me and Usman did it. You know what I mean? So let's run that. Let's do that again.
Leon, right here. After your last loss, we know you've worked harder than ever to reposition yourself as a clear contender and reclaim the belt. What changes do you think we'll see in you this Saturday night, and what can we expect from Leon Rocky Edwards?
I'm just more forward aggressive guy, I feel like I was more fighting to like not lose my record, and I was like, it's been like 12, 13 fights in for you, and lost for like 10 years. You're a champion, so you build all these things up in your head that you're trying to chase this dream to beat GSP record, that you're kind of fighting not to lose more than to win. You know what I mean? And now I feel like Saturday night I was going in there as the young, when I first got into the UFC, going in there to chase that goal again. You know what I mean? And it makes me excited to feel that, and I'm excited for it.
And I also wanted to ask you, how was the adaptation in your camp, being after such a significant change in preparation? And what was your first feeling when you knew that you were going to face Sean Brady?
I don't like, for me, it didn't matter who it was. There was a few names on the table, and I was just like, am I fighting in London? Yes or no? Or if not, am I moving to the May card? Like, I just want to know what my time frame as far as camp goes. What's what? Obviously, we got the decision. I'm fighting in London, and as far as the opponent goes, like I said, it's more about me, right? It's more about I'm focused on what I need to do, and so it didn't matter about Sean Brady or whoever else it was going to be.
And the last one for me, we also talked before about the possibilities of Islam Makhachev going up in your division. Would you like to face Islam for the title? And if so, how would play out between you and Islam, knowing that you were his first sparring partner in the US?
I don't know. I'm focused on Sean Brady for Saturday night, and yeah.
Yes, just one last question, Jacob from Corner Block. You've had back here. Okay. You've had some setbacks in your career, but you always manage to come back and be even stronger. And it seems like you are the strongest when your back's against the wall. Is there any secret to that bouncing back mentality?
No, not really. I think just like my upbringing, right? Just the way I had to be where I'm at in this position. You know what I mean? I feel like it takes a strong man to go through ups and downs and to rebuild, go again, not that, and come back again. So it's like I think over time you build this like callus in your mind, in your brain, in yourself. It doesn't matter what happens in life. You just keep cracking on and keep moving forward. And it's all about how you perceive things, right? And how you look at it. You can go, oh, why me? And moan about shit. Or you just say, okay, who's it? Sean Brady? Oh, yeah, Carl. Why is he so orthodox? He's orthodox. What does he do? Does he wrestle? Why he wrestles? Oh, yeah, let's get back to work, innit? Like, what does it matter, like, who or what, like, is in your way? Like, what is your goal and what is your dream, and what confidence have you got in yourself? And, yeah, I feel like from being born in Jamaica to become the UFC World Champion, it was a long fucking road, and that road built a lot in me to withstand and overcome, and after time again, you know what I mean? So my mentality is outside of fighting, you know what I mean? And that's it. I'm just built different, you know?
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Sai from Against the Fence. How you doing, Leon?
Good, thank you.
So you said earlier about how Sean Brady fights. It's pretty similar time and time again. And obviously it's a strategy that's worked for him, as he's only got that one blemish on his record with Belal Muhammad.
Yeah.
How closely have you looked at that tape? What kind of tactical insights have you taken away from it? And where do you see the advantages coming up against him this weekend? What have you learned?
I've seen a lot from not just that fight, but from all his fights. You know what I mean? Everyone keep talking like he's some newcomer's eyes. Like I'm 33, he's 32. You know what I mean? He's not like a young kid, like 25 years old, fresh coming to the UFC. And but yeah, like I said, there's a lot of things that we're seeing on tape that we can take advantage of, and I'm excited to go out there and perform and just show the world. You know.
Very good.
Thank you.